In recent days, every Warriors fan has felt the same mix of anxiety and frustration. The team is wavering, decisions seem confusing, and there is a feeling that something big needs to change. If you've ever found yourself thinking that this cast can do more, but didn't know exactly what's missing, what we're going to show you today is for you. An unexpected move has just changed the game behind the scenes and could be just the turnaround that everyone was asking for. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes you will understand what is happening, why this directly impacts the future of the Warriors, and most importantly, how this decision could be the answer to the problems that have been bothering the fans for so long. Before continuing, a quick request that makes all the difference. If you are passionate about the Warriors and want to stay up to date with everything that really happens with the team, take advantage now and subscribe to the channel. Leave a like because this shows YouTube that this content is important for you and other fans, and activate the bell to receive the next updates firsthand. It doesn't leave the video, because what comes now explains exactly why this move could change the course of the season, and you don't want to hear that later from others. Follow with me. Let's talk calmly about what's happening with the Golden State Warriors, because the moment calls for honesty, depth, and above all, clarity. There are periods in the history of any winning team when talent is no longer enough on its own. The time comes when the club needs to decide who it really is and where it wants to go. This is what we are experiencing now. It's not an exaggeration. It's not gratuitous drama. It's a turning point. The Chicago game was just the most visible trigger. On the court, it looked like just another regular season matchup. But those who follow the team closely noticed that there was something different in the air. The bench's reaction, the atmosphere in the arena, the silence between one play and another, everything indicated that important decisions were being made. And decisions of this size are never limited to the score of the night. They point to a path. In recent years, we have seen this team win titles, go through turbulent phases, rebuild identity, fall and get up. Therefore, it is impossible to look at what is happening today and not feel the weight of the moment. The feeling is clear. We are facing a choice that could define how the Warriors will be remembered for the next decade, and the fans feel it. You don't need numbers to understand. Just watch, breathe the game, and listen to your own discomfort. The current season is a portrait of contrasts. In one day, the team seems to rediscover the magic that took it to the top of the basketball world. Ball spinning fluidly, connected defense, energy, confidence. In the other, a disconnected, irregular team emerges, unable to sustain concentration and intensity. This fluctuation takes a heavy toll, even more so when you have a player the size of Stephen Curry living in the final years of his competitive peak. Time is the invisible adversary in this story. Every game that passes doesn't come back. Each season that passes represents one less opportunity to transform talent into legacy, and that is precisely where the fans' pain lies. Knowing that they have one of the greatest players of all time, but feeling that the team often seems undecided between competing now or waiting for tomorrow. This middle ground is the most dangerous place a club can occupy. And then we come to the name at the center of the discussion, Jonathan Kuminga, a player who carries, at the same time, promise and frustration. His absence on the court in that decisive game was not a detail. It was a message. This is not just a young athlete who was left on the bench. It is a symbol of a larger dilemma. Bet on future potential or immediately look for pieces that deliver consistent impact. Kuminga has attributes that catch the eye: rare athleticism, explosion, ability to create. It's no wonder that so many people saw him as a pillar of the future. However, professional basketball requires more than flashes. He asks for game reading, constancy, maturity in decisive moments. And it is precisely at this point that the conversation becomes complex. Because at the same time that he could become a great player, the Warriors experience an urgency that they don't expect. What is up for debate is not just a name in the cast, it's the club's philosophy. Continue to patiently develop young talent at the risk of wasting Curry's last great years, or accept that the window is now, that perhaps we need to sacrifice tomorrow to honor the present? Neither answer is comfortable. But not deciding is also a decision, and perhaps the worst one. The Warriors board, coaching staff, and basketball structure know this. We are not talking about impulsive reactions. We're talking internal meetings, cold analysis, casting projections, and consideration. Analyse. The approaching trade deadline only increases the pressure. The Western Conference is full of ready, deep, and competitive opponents. There is no room for middle ground. To fight for the top again, the team needs something very specific. Players who can contribute immediately in big games under real playoff pressure. Athletes capable of defending multiple positions, shooting confidently, and understanding what it means to play alongside a superstar. This profile is not usually cheap, which is why Kuminga's name appears as a negotiating currency, not because of his talent, but because of his market value. It's painful for fans to say goodbye to a young man they believed in. There is affection, expectation, a feeling that he is still going to explode. And it can explode, yes, maybe even somewhere else. Sometimes a player needs a different environment to flourish. A team that accepts his mistakes as he grows, that puts the ball in his hands more often, that allows him to make mistakes and make mistakes without the weight of a title fight. This new beginning could do him good. At the same time, the Warriors need to look at themselves honestly. What are you willing to give up? What do you value most right now? The hypothetical future or the concrete chance of competing in championships again now? There is no perfect answer. There is coherence with the moment. And the moment says that Stephen Curry still plays at a level capable of changing series, franchises, and stories. To ignore this would be to waste something that sport rarely offers, a transformative talent that is alive, available, and delivered. If a change happens, it won't just be a salary scale move. It will be loaded with meaning. It will represent the choice of a path to compete immediately, whatever the emotional cost. It will also represent maturity, the ability to separate affection from strategy, remembering the possible future from commitment to the real present. Of course, there is risk. Every big decision carries risk. It's possible that Kuminga explodes onto another team and becomes the player everyone imagined. It is also possible that the Warriors, by strengthening the squad, will return to the top and show that the bet was necessary. Sport is made of this uncertainty. What is not possible is to stand still, waiting for time to resolve what only action can resolve. Therefore, fans need to prepare for intense weeks. Rumors will emerge, names will appear and disappear, packages will be analyzed, speculations will multiply. The only certainty is that the Warriors are faced with a bifurcation, preserving potential or maximizing the now. And whatever the outcome, it will say a lot about how this era will be remembered. More than talking about the exchange itself, it is important to understand what is at stake. It's not just one player. That's the message for the cast. It is respect for recent history. It is the responsibility not to turn talent into regret. It is the will to fight while there is still a real condition to fight. This moves the locker room, moves the board, and above all, moves the fans. What happens now will require maturity from the fans as well. Understand that difficult decisions are part of teams that want to remain relevant. Understand that the most comfortable path is not always the one that takes you the furthest. Support the team in the transition, even when the heart would prefer another outcome. Remain present, critical when necessary, but aware of the larger context. In short, we are facing a moment that does not allow for neutrality. The Warriors need to choose who they want to be, a team that clings to the uncertain future or a team that faces the present head-on and bets everything on it. Whatever the choice, it will require courage. Courage to negotiate, to let go, to take risks, and above all, to sustain the consequences. If you followed this team for years, you know that it was built on decisions that seemed too bold at the time. Some went wrong, others changed the course of the franchise. What is before us now has the same weight, and that's why it's worth following each step carefully and with a sense of history. Here is an invitation to continue together on this journey. What lies ahead is not simple, but it is decisive. Let's observe, analyze, and most importantly, feel this moment together. because, regardless of the outcome, one thing remains: the passion for this team and the desire to see it compete at the highest level again. This is the kind of moment that changes destinies. Either the Warriors reinvent themselves now or accept being just another sidekick in a merciless league. Pieces are moving behind the scenes, names are being discussed, and nothing is guaranteed, except one thing: big decisions are coming and they won't please everyone. But this is exactly how new headline stories are born. Either you embrace courage, or you sit back and watch others lift trophies. If you want AC follow every detail of this turnaround, every hot rumor, every possible exchange, and all the impact of this on the team's future, don't leave here. Go straight to the Golden State Warriors News Today playlist in the pinned comment. Everything is organized there for you to binge-watch the most important updates without missing anything. Click, watch, follow along step by step, because the next chapter could be just the thing that changes everything forever.